If you have your laptops or your phones, you may want to open them up. And I am going to module 1, and I'm going to click on the PDF that says PAWS, P-A-W-S, Guidance for On-Camera Speeches. PAWS, P-A-W-S. All right, and those are your guidelines for your speeches. Let's do this. All right, it's really important to set the scene. When you are presenting in front of a group of people, even though it may be recorded and you might be doing it through Skype or a YouTube recording or a number of different ways. And this is the way that people are indeed interviewing for jobs now. In fact, this is a requirement that my business communication students have to go through, is a mock interview using Skype. So what you want to do is to create an environment that looks very professional. And you, in that, need to look professional. But it needs to, for the speech that you're going to be doing on Sunday, appropriate for your topic. All right. Now, a special occasion speech could be a eulogy, could be an acceptance of an award or a scholarship, so a thank you. It could be a introduction of the next guest speaker or a person of importance. It might be a toast at a wedding to the happy couple, or it might be a congratulatory toast to somebody who's retiring, or perhaps anniversaries. So it runs the gamut. The most important thing to remember when you are writing an outline for this kind of a speech is that it's really not about you. In fact, the worst toasts are speeches that the speaker talks all about himself or herself and the recipient of the award with inside jokes or memories of things that happened that were only funny to them. So what you're going to want to do is to make your audience the center of what you're trying to communicate. And if you are holding up somebody to look good, even if it's yourself by receiving an award, you are going to be saying thank you to the people who helped enable you to be professional or to be successful or to win that award, right? So it's called humility. Yeah. It's called having an opportunity to say, yes, thank you for this accomplishment. I'm very proud, but I didn't do it alone. All right. So my basketball players, they know that. It is a very individual sport, but it's also a team sport, right? So any of us who work, you work at Olive Garden, so you are a team. Okay. Are you a server or a bus? Okay. So everybody's depending on you to do a good job. All right. So everybody is interconnected. So keep that in mind when you are writing your speech. So in this document, it says to start off by being professional and poised. Professional and poised simply means that you own the stage. And by professional, I mean you are dressed for power and influence. People used to call it success. No. You want to be dressed for power and influence, right? It needs to go with your speech topic and your audience, right? So it's not always the three-piece suit. Ew, no, that would be so not appropriate for certain occasions, for certain places. So always keep in mind, who's the audience and how are you going to demonstrate your power and demonstrate your influence on those people in the audience by how you present yourself, all right? And there are some information pieces here. I recommend that you sit, all right? And I'm going to show you a video of me doing an interview of how the sitting looks, all right? If you stand, that's fine, but make sure you have really good posture. Don't use cards for notes. That is so middle school. All right? Don't use them. All right? What you should do is a piece of paper. And the piece of paper, I actually like to use mine with clear plastic because it's easier to slide. All right? So you have your notes, like you see them on ESPN or the news, and you have them to do what's called the paper slide, and you just slide your notes over to the side. You're not going to be reading word for word anyway, so you're just going to be looking. Oh, you know what? That camera is so not focused on me, so I don't know that, because this time it is about me. Yeah. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have your notes and that they are side by side. Now you probably have seen some people who use binders. Binders are okay, they're not wonderful, because what you don't want is to have a physical distraction to what you're saying. And if you have a binder, you are flipping pages. We also never have anything on the back. Never anything on the back of the note. That's why we very just carefully just slide the paper and look at the note. And you print it usually in about 16, 18, or 20 font. You may have a lot of pages so that it's easy to just glance down and slide over. Okay? But don't, and never staple, never staple. Okay? Now your actions, what's good about you doing this on a video is that you don't have to wear a mask. Please don't. Okay. Be someplace safe where there's no mask required, because we want you to use your face as a visual aid. We want you to use your eyebrows, your smiles, your, some kind of looks, or, body positioning, or whatever it is, to use your face and your eyes as part of your visual aids. I want you to make sure that your expressions match your words. So if you're happy, you should be smiling, okay? If you're doing a eulogy, you might probably be a little bit more serious, unless you're telling a funny story, and then there might be some laughter, okay? Your hand gestures should be minimal, but there should be some. Okay? This is what we call a home position. This is a home position. And if you have a podium, this is a home position to put your fingertips on the podium. And from there, you do your gestures so that you always go back. This is the one I like the best. This is what I call the Oprah Winfrey home position. If you ever watch her, this is what she does. All right. There's a couple of players, broadcasters who do this as well. Okay. Stand your feet so that they are parallel. Do not cross over. And make sure that you stand still. No pacing. If you're, don't do kind of turning or twisting. These are all the kinds of things you're going to be looking at your redo of your video and say, oh, I got to retake it.
I thought about this.
Yeah, she has a degree in communication. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's all about her. Yeah, she's great. She's one of my heroes. If you are using your laptop and or your phone for recording, what you're going to want to do is to position it so that you're eye to eye with the camera, right? Don't have it down here. So, for instance, if you're using your phone to record you, you don't want it down here. You don't even want it there. You don't even want it there. You want it up here, so that you are eye to eye with the camera. And you can, post it up, lean it against a bookshelf or something like that. And that will make it so it's much easier. If you're using your laptop, the same thing. All right, so position it so that the camera on the laptop is up high, exactly, so that you are eye to eye. Now, these are all things I'm going to be taking points off, so keep that in mind. Let's see. You should not be too close. We are looking for about this much higher. It is a headshot. If it's a body shot, that's fine. All right. The body shot could be, full body or, probably knees up kind of thing. So you kind of play with it. Do a couple of test takes to see what is the best positioning for you. Okay. Words matter. So rehearse, and then rehearse some more. You want to be fluid. You don't want to stumble. You don't want to go, And also, and you never read word for word. Unless it's a quote. If it's a quote and you want to make sure you don't misquote, that's okay. Right? But rehearse your words so that they come very easily. You don't need a prop or anything like that. Now, setting is probably the thing that you guys will least think of. I remember a student who was doing a Zoom speech, and she happened to get on early, and I had to stop and tell her, will you make your bed? Will you close the drawers on your dresser? And will you get out of your pajamas? Get off and come back on when you're ready to give a speech. I'm so serious. I was just like, I could not believe it. So you don't want to do those kinds of things. You really want to be smart about it. And so setting the scene is there. In fact, there is an app out there that will evaluate your setting. It's very cool. It's really kind of cool. As soon as when I did my interview, my daughter looked at it and she said, "Oh, Mom, I got to put it to the app and see what rating you got." And I got a 9 out of 10, so it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. All right, this document is there for you to read in more detail on your own. I'm not going to read anymore.
So posture, that's like real.
Posture is you want to, you're proud. Okay, you don't want to be hunched over. All right, so posture means that you are standing up straight, right? Yeah. How do I make this come back up? Oops. There we go. Okay, that may not have recorded. Oh well. All right, so now I'm going to go and continue to share. Okay. Now I'm going to show you in your website. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm just going to show you a piece of this video so that you can see the setting. There are sample good speeches on the Effective Communication Association website. So you are welcome to look at those. So I'm going to pull this up here right now. So those students who are interested in joining our club, this is our club, our student club. And in here, you can see down here, we have a number of different speeches for examples that students have done that are particularly good. This is an example of a speech like, now you see her back, very professional, very clean, not messy. This person. So, I hate that it won't let me pause it. All right, so notice I positioned flowers in the background, very simple background. There's some color. I have a color contrast to what's in the back so that I pop out. All right, I'm a little bit close. If I could have done it again, I would have actually been farther away from the camera. But you'll see that I'm still doing some gestures. Borderline too much. I would probably say to Kathy, that would be me, tone down the gestures. Right? But that gives you some idea. All right, we're done with me. Okay. So what questions do you have for me? And let me see if we have any students online. Nope, no students online. All right, then I am going to stop recording.